Shalom Aleichem. The following episode is being brought to you by Rabbi Yehuda Shane, Administrator of Kashrus Anytime, a division of the Kosher Consumers Union, a 501c3 organization. A short synopsis of the scandal with the Star K at the International Glatt with Shechita in a company called BSI, which was ultimately sold to P&M Beef in Windham, Minnesota. The Chaimowitz Shechita, I could call it sometimes Chaimowitz Shechita, sometimes International, but it's all the same, is under the Ashgacha of Reb Shlomo Stern, the Rebbetziner Rov, Reb Yitzchak Stein, the Faltachana Rov, and the head of the Bezin of Chatzkel Roth, and the Bezin of Mishmeres, and the Blazy Yaakov. I'm going to give you later on, I'm going to give you the telephone numbers from all of them, so you could go through if you want to have some more details. So later on, we'll have a pencil and paper, and I'm also going to give you my email address. If you want to have a copy of the whole report, I'll be able to send you a copy of the report by email. So I'm going to run through this thing over here. Yankee Chaimowitz, which is International Glock, had a shechita for a number of years at P&M Beef Company in Windham. The new manager that came in proposed, why do we need an in-between distributor, Chaimowitz? Why doesn't the Rabbanim give a kosher supervision directly to P&M Beef, which is not a Jewish-owned facility, a Goyish company? Says, why do we have to have this in between? Well, I'll deal with them. All the Rabbanim turned them down, including the OU. We're only permitted to grant Ashgacha to a Shomer Torah. We go with the Derech Eitz HaChaim or Gehenim Psuach Tachtav if we give to a Goy. Non-Jewish. So P&M Beef turned to the Star K, as they had no issue at all in granting Ashgacha on a shechita that belongs to a non-Jewish distributor company. Shocking. The Agudas Rabbanim put out an Isser signed by many Rabbanim, including the Moshe Feinstein, that included Zakana, not to grant Ashgacha to one that sells kosher and non-kosher. And the event they do grant such Ashgacha, one should question that Ashgacha agent's reliability entirely. This goes back to when America was called the Taifin in Medina, but it was everybody basically adhered to that same thing. Back in 5752, which was 1991, Chaimowitz decided to consolidate his international glatt shechita into one large abattoir BSI in Windham, Minnesota. Therefore, there was formed an Orthodox Kehillah in Hartley, Iowa, which was in the area, for the benefit of the Shachtim to be able to live there. There was a total, the crew was encompassed of approximately 60 people. The advantage was also that they were able to do on-site not only the shechita, but also the nicker, the soaking, the salting, everything, and the packaging. They were able to do everything and have a place to daven and to learn and to mikveh, etc. A real full setup the way a basic shechita should be. This was all done under the strict hashgacha of Reb Moshe Stern, the Rebbetziner Rov, and his son Shlomo Stern. Reb Yitzchak Eliezer Yaakov was the kasher supervisor of the glatt operation. He has put out a number of svarim on nicker and on treifus and shechita, a very, very, very big yadin from Eretz Yisrael. Reb Yitzchak Stein of Foltachan, Reb Yaakov Zayda, came into the picture later on. Reb Yaakov Eliezer has been a shoichet Boydek Menaker for many years in Yerushalayim. He also wrote numerous forums on treifus and nicker, etc. They operated there a coil for the entire staff. The entire staff received their pay directly from the Kehillah, not from the plant and not from Chaimowitz International Glatt. So there was no contact at all between the staff and the distributors. Chaimowitz didn't even know who the staff people are because he never had a shaykhs with them. It's well known the pressure that's often exerted on the shaykh or a boydek when the one that's giving him the check basically has a day at the same. Therefore, no one from the plant nor from Chaimowitz was permitted to be physically present during the shechita or bedikas. There are serious concerns if the distributor abattoir is a frum Jewish entity versus if it's a non-Jewish entity. The difference in the value of glatt beef versus non-kosher is tremendous. It's of utmost importance that the stamps, seals, packaging, seals, chaysamis, tape is under the strict control of the crew of shachtim, menakar, and mashgichim. If it will be in the hands of the avatar of a non-Jewish management, there is financial incentives to play games. All the years that the crew of International Glatt were at any Shechita, including P&M, the rabbi's word was the final word, no ifs, ands, or buts, and this goes on basically by all Shechitas, reliable Shechitas, is the Shachta Mashgichim are the ones that have the final word on everything. Some 4 years prior, P&M was sold by BSI to P&M Beef. Management realized there's a large profit margin available to P&M if they could bypass the international lot distributor, and P&M should become the avatar plus the distributor as well of the Glatt beef. P&M pushed the OU to grant the kosher certification directly to P&M. The OU refused. They said, our policies forbid us to grant kosher certification to the plant that produces and sells non-kosher as well. Lo and behold, in comes the Star K, and is more than willing to grant kosher certification to the non-Jewish P&M beef distributor. When this episode was mentioned to Shmuel Vosner and to Rav Elyashiv, that Vosner was in total shock, and Rav Elyashiv responded, is this Rav an Orthodox Rav? They didn't tell him the name, evidently, but he was shocked. He couldn't believe that an Orthodox Rav should go give Ashgacha to Goyish distributor, and the base of Shechita also belongs to him. The Star K allowed the management to have full access to the seals, the sealing tape, the packaging. They even allowed P&M to order all of the packaging and the sealing tape came into the company. So basically there was no such a thing as chaysamis because everything was ordered by them in their control, etc. This in itself, that Ashgacha is willing to kosher certify a non-Jewish avatar distributor, is a tremendous tragedy, as every kosher certifier of a Shechita loses the full control by the non-Jewish owned avatar. They know they could always go to the Star K and become self-certified as a kosher distributor. So there's no lachat that you can make on them. This also causes that the plant will always pressure the crew to kosher certify as Glatt a higher percentage of beef, which undermines the entire Glatt and kosher standards across the board. The Rabbanim explained all this to rabbinical administrator of the Star K, to Noah's Veil. His response, I will still grant kosher certification to a guy. The kosher crew explained to the Star K that they're all standing to lose their livelihood. 60 people, don't forget. He responded, you can all continue in your jobs, but now it'll be under the Star K supervision. Knowing full well that the Shachtim, Batkim, and Akrim are too ehrlich to continue under these unacceptable circumstances. The Star K was all pre-prepared with their own crew if need be. The entire crew was forced to buckle to the guy and the Star K, but they told the Star K, we'll provide you with the physical aspect of Shechita, Bedikya, Nikkur, but we take no responsibility on the kashrus under these conditions, because the real control of the chaysamis and the tape and the boxes and the seals, everything is in the guy's hands, and you're allowing that. Some of the kashrus issues that have to be dealt with under this setup were, the mashgiach saw the non-Jewish employee removing vacuum sealing bags with the Star K. The brand that they used was called Zalman's, and the Zalman's brand name was embossed on the bags and the Star K as well. Previously, no one besides the mashgichim had any access to any seals, tape, or bags. Now the Star K allowed these sealing bags to be loaded onto the plant's trailer and shipped to another plant of P&M. When it arrived at the other plant of P&M, the on-site mashgiach was forewarned that there were a large batch of kosher sealing packaging on that truck. When the worker was approached by the mashgiach regarding the kosher packaging plastics, where are the kosher packaging plastics? I was ordered by the supervising rabbis to confiscate and quarantine them. The guy said they aren't international glass packaging. It's the Zalman brand, which is the property of P&M Beef Company. So I could do what my supervisor told me to do, and you can't tell me anything about that packaging that doesn't belong to you. When this was brought to the attention of Dr. Pollack, president of Star K, and Rabbi Heinemann at their visit to the plant, Rabbi Heinemann said, I must first decide if the guy is a shoygig or a mazid. And, by the way, the guy is correct that the Zalman's packaging belongs to P&M Beef Company, and you may not confiscate it from him. Unbelievable. Another one of the numerous incidents reads the serious cautious violations of the plan. Numerous boxes of sealed beef had their seals broken and lying around for the P&M workers to put into those boxes whatever they wanted and reseal it. When Rabbi Heinemann visited the plant, he asked the mashgiach, "What the whole tumult going on here with kashrus that you guys are making such a big taranam?" The mashgiach said it's unheard of to have the goyim to have free access to the kosher seals, packaging, chesamais, and tape, etc. Rabbi Heinemann responded, "Es ist nicht so gefährlich." Rabbi Heinemann then called up Chaimowitz, the owner of International Glatt. He says, "Could you tell me why you have an extra boidik chutz? Is he increasing your quantity of glatt? If he's not, what's the justification of having an extra boidik chutz there?" Shocking. Rabbi Heinemann, accompanied by the P&M manager, stood by the table of the boidik chutz and was challenging the boidik chutz in his rejection of a number of animals as not passing their glatt standard. Now the guy was convinced that the standard of glatt may be challenged, and he did challenge them on a constant basis, which was a tremendous lachatz on the boitkim that they can't do their thing calmly, coolly, and collected in getting it done. At a meeting in Baltimore, present at that meeting was Dr. Pollack, Yonah Gewurz, the P&M manager, the Goyish manager, Yankee Chaimowitz, and other management from P&M. Dr. Pollack explained to everyone present, "Is P&M management aware that all of your kosher crew of International Glatt are illegal to work in the United States? By the way, they were all working for the established kollel that was permitted to employ them in the USA." The management of P&M sent a letter banning Reb Yaakov and Reb Lazy Yaakov, the head mashgiach, from stepping foot in the plant. P&M management stated they are determined to work with a crew that can increase the profit margin for the plant, and the people from the Star K are willing to do that, and you people are not, and you better shape up. When the Rabbanim inquired from others familiar with internal workings of Hashgachas at various Shechitas, they stated, "We are not surprised at the Star K. This is their modus operandi. They always degrade the dignity of a shachtim." I wonder where they learned it. This was pretty common 60 years ago, 70 years ago, to degrade the dignity of Rabbanim, Meshaychtim, Mashgichim. They teach the plans goyim that these rabbis are just plain workers, nothing more, no reason to treat them as rabbis or anything else. If anybody wants to have copies of this thing, which was definitely more at length, with more details, send me an email to kashrusy, KASHRUSY @AOL.com. Again, KASHRUSY @AOL.com. Anybody wants could call the Rebbetziner of Reb Shlomo Stern at 718-853-9623. I repeat, Reb Shlomo Stern, the Rebbetziner of, at 718-853-9623. Well, you could call also Reb Yitzchak Stein, the Foltachana of, and Dayan at 718-436-8072. I repeat again, Reb Yitzchak Stein, the Foltachana of, and Dayan at 718-436-8072. Reb Yitzchak Zayda at 718-680-0642. Or Reb Yitzchak Eliezer Yaakov in Eretz Yisrael at 011-972-537-7101. I repeat, Reb Yitzchak Eliezer Yaakov at 011-972-537-7101. We should all be familiar with the Star Case falsification of Rabbi Reuben's report on the Star Case false poultry Shechita that Rabbi Reuben wrote. There's over 20% of Nevelis and Trefus going out at that plant, being with the plumbers of the Star K as being kosher. The Star K falsified his report. The Star K also falsified the Shlomo Zalman Auerbach Sefer when he writes that the Star K's Haterim on Bishul Akum are a main cause for intermarriage in the world. The Moshe Sternbuch also writes that it should be publicized that nobody should rely on the Star K's Hashgacha due to the star case at Tehran on meat and matzahs and wine in South Africa. Copies of all of these documents are available by email from, again, kashrusy, KASHRUSY at AOL.com. Subject line, write which documents you're interested in. There was another interesting story. There was somebody that was shechting in an OU plant shechting chickens, and after a number of years, it accumulated a substantial amount of money that they weren't paying, and then they decided to go to a different OU plant to shecht the chickens over there. So the first one munned them and said, you can't go to this other plant, you have to pay up. So the OU refused to give hashgacha until this is straightened out, the financial matter. So the company said, but the plant owes me money for other things. So the OU says, well, go to the Torah. They went to the Torah, and the Torah paskin that this Weiss poultry owes to the previous base of Shechita, owes them a couple of $100,000, and they basically did not pay it. So the OU refused to give the hashgacha. When the OU was asked, why do you refuse to give the hashgacha? What does it have to do with you that they owed the previous plant money? So the OU says that, first of all, they're a loitzayis dina. They're not listening to the Torah. Second of all, when it's a financial matter and your loitzayis dina, it means you're a ganef also, and you're an untrustworthy person. They said it's enough that when we give an hashgacha to a place, especially when it's involving meat or poultry, and you give hashgacha, you hope that everything will work out fine. You're dealing with an honest person. When you're starting off with a dishonest person, you know that you're going to have problems, and they refuse to give hashgacha. But that one did not have any problem going to the star K and getting the star K give hashgacha, even though that they are loitzayis dina. They gambled the money from the other one. So I checked with the previous plan. Did you notify the Star K of the reason that the OU was not giving hashgacha? And they said, yes, we notified the Star K that they're not giving hashgacha because loitzayis dina, they're not honest, etc., etc., and you really shouldn't be giving hashgacha. The Star K says, well, we have no problem with any of those things, which, pretty consistent, with what Zalman said, that they're causing intermarriage. Moshe Sternbuch says that you shouldn't rely on them at all. Any kashrus in Yonim, they falsified the Zalman Orbach Sefer, they falsified Rabbi Reuben's report. That is what the Star K is all about, and we're very surprised that others are going and being on the same label as them, even though it have Neishlas told it have Matcha Onge twice in Square that he doesn't want to find the Hashgacha from Square together with the Star K. But evidently, for some reason or other, you do find that, and you find a lot of other hashgachas also with the Star K, surprisingly enough, but to be continued at another time and Kol Tov.